Sleep is not something you can force, bargain with, or delay without consequences. Your body runs on biological laws, not personal preferences. When you lie awake at night, it's not because your body forgot how to sleep. It's because something is interfering with a natural process. That interference could be stress hormones, unstable blood sugar, overstimulation, or poor habits. The idea that one simple tablespoon before bed could help you fall asleep faster isn't magic. It's about correcting a small but critical imbalance in your system. When the body receives the right signal at the right time, it responds immediately. Sleep is a built-in function. You don't create it, you allow it. The concept of a tablespoon is often misunderstood. It's not about consuming a large amount of anything. It's about precision and timing. A small, controlled intake right before bed can send a signal to your body that it's safe to relax. Whether it's a natural substance like honey or another simple mixture, the purpose is to gently guide your body toward a restful state. Timing matters more than quantity because your body is highly sensitive in the moments before sleep. A small input at the right time can create a significant effect. One of the biggest hidden disruptors of sleep is blood sugar instability. Many people fall asleep just fine, but wake up in the middle of the night without understanding why. In many cases, it's because their blood sugar drops too low, triggering the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones wake you up because your body thinks it's in danger. A small tablespoon of the right substance before bed can help maintain stable blood sugar levels throughout the night, preventing these sudden awakenings and allowing you to stay asleep. However, sleep is not just about what you consume, it's about the state of your nervous system. If your mind is racing, if you're still thinking about problems, deadlines, or scrolling through your phone, your body remains in a state of alertness. This is known as the fight or flight mode. For sleep to happen, your body must shift into the rest and digest state. Certain natural ingredients can support this transition, but they won't work if your habits are working against you. You must give your body permission to slow down. Discipline plays a critical role here. A single tablespoon will not fix a lifestyle filled with inconsistency. If you go to bed at different times every night, expose yourself to bright screens late in the evening, or consume heavy meals right before sleep, you are disrupting your internal clock. The body thrives on routine. When you combine a simple nightly habit with consistent sleep timing, the results become far more reliable. In the end, the real power lies in simplicity. People often search for complex solutions, expensive supplements, elaborate routines, but overlook the basics. The body responds best to small, consistent signals. A single tablespoon, used correctly, is not a miracle cure, but it can be an effective tool when combined with the right habits. When you understand how your body works and support it instead of fighting it, sleep becomes effortless, natural, and immediate. The tablespoon itself is not the magic. The mistake people make is focusing on the size instead of the strategy behind it. Your body doesn't respond to volume, it responds to signals. A small, intentional intake before bed acts as a trigger, telling your system that it's time to transition. This is about precision. When you take something in a controlled amount at the right moment, your body interprets it as a cue, not a disruption. Too much food would activate digestion and keep you awake, but a carefully measured tablespoon does the opposite. It nudges your system toward rest. Timing is where most people go wrong. They either eat too early, leaving their body unsupported through the night, or too late and too heavily, which overloads the digestive system. The window right before sleep is critical because your body is highly receptive. In that moment, even a small input can influence hormones, blood sugar, and nervous system activity. A tablespoon taken at the right time works with your body's natural rhythm instead of against it. It's not about adding something new, it's about aligning with what your body is already trying to do. Think of it as a signal amplifier. Your body is already preparing for sleep by increasing melatonin and slowing down internal processes. But if something interrupts that process, like a drop in blood sugar or lingering stress, the transition becomes unstable. A small, well-timed intake can stabilize that shift. It reinforces the message that everything is safe, balanced, and ready for rest. That's why such a small amount can have a noticeable effect when used correctly. Another important factor is how quickly your body processes small quantities. A tablespoon is absorbed efficiently without placing a burden on digestion. Heavy meals require energy to break down, which keeps your system active when it should be slowing down. In contrast, a minimal amount provides just enough input to create balance without triggering full digestive activity. This is why less is often more when it comes to nighttime routines. Consistency also plays a role in how effective this approach becomes. When you repeat the same small action at the same time each night, your body begins to recognize it as part of a pattern. Over time, that pattern strengthens your internal clock. The tablespoon becomes more than just a physical input. It becomes a psychological and biological cue. Your brain starts associating it with the transition to sleep, making the process faster and smoother. It's also important to avoid turning this into a dependency mindset. The tablespoon is not something your body needs in order to sleep. It's something that supports the process when used strategically. The goal is to enhance your natural rhythm, not replace it. If your habits are aligned, your environment is calm, and your routine is consistent, the effect of this small action becomes even more noticeable. In the end, the power of the tablespoon lies in its precision, not its size. It represents a focused, intentional step that works with your body's timing and biology. When you understand that, you stop chasing quantity and start paying attention to quality and consistency. That's where real results come from. Blood sugar stability is one of the most overlooked factors when it comes to sleep quality. Most people assume that if they can fall asleep, everything is fine. But waking up in the middle of the night, feeling restless, or struggling to stay asleep often points to an internal imbalance rather than an external problem. Your body depends on a steady supply of glucose to function, even while you sleep. When that supply drops too low, it doesn't quietly adjust, it reacts. And that reaction is what disrupts your sleep. When blood sugar levels fall during the night, your body treats it as a threat. It activates a stress response, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These are not sleep-friendly hormones. They are designed to wake you up, increase alertness, and push your body into action. From a survival perspective, this makes sense. Your body is trying to protect you. But in a modern setting, this response becomes a problem. You wake up suddenly, your mind may start racing, and falling back asleep becomes difficult. This is where a small, strategic intake before bed becomes relevant. A single tablespoon of the right substance can help maintain a more stable blood sugar level throughout the night. It doesn't overload your system or interfere with sleep. Instead, it provides just enough support to prevent a sharp drop. This stability allows your body to remain in a relaxed state without triggering unnecessary stress responses. It's important to understand that this isn't about eating sugar freely or turning bedtime into a snack routine. The key is balance. Too much intake can have the opposite effect, causing spikes and crashes that make sleep even worse. But a controlled, minimal amount can act as a buffer, smoothing out fluctuations that would otherwise interrupt your rest. The body responds best to moderation, especially during sensitive periods like nighttime. Another factor to consider is how individual habits during the day affect nighttime blood sugar. Skipping meals, consuming excessive caffeine, or eating highly processed foods can all lead to instability later on. By the time you go to bed, your body may already be on the edge of a drop. The tablespoon method works best when it's part of a broader effort to maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. It's a support mechanism, not a fix for poor habits. There's also a connection between blood sugar and sleep depth. Even if you don't fully wake up, fluctuations can pull you out of deeper sleep stages, leaving you feeling tired the next day. You may not remember waking up, but your body does. Stabilizing blood sugar helps maintain continuous, uninterrupted sleep cycles, which are essential for recovery and overall health. Over time, consistent stability trains your body to feel safe during the night. When your system no longer expects sudden drops or stress signals, it relaxes more deeply. Sleep becomes smoother, more predictable, and more restorative. What seems like a small adjustment can have a significant impact when applied consistently. In the end, the goal is not just to fall asleep quickly, but to stay asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. Blood sugar plays a central role in that process. When you keep it stable, you remove one of the major hidden barriers to quality sleep, allowing your body to do what it was designed to do naturally. Your ability to fall asleep has far less to do with your bed and far more to do with the state of your nervous system. If your body is still operating in a high alert mode, sleep simply will not happen, no matter how tired you feel. This state, often described as fight or flight, is designed to keep you awake, focused, and ready to respond. It's useful during the day, when you need to solve problems or react quickly, but at night it becomes a barrier. The body cannot rest, while it still believes there is something to handle. Modern habits keep people stuck in this activated state far longer than necessary. Constant exposure to screens, late-night thinking, stress about work or personal issues, all of these keep the brain engaged when it should be slowing down. Even if you turn off the lights and lie down, your internal system may still be running at full speed. This mismatch creates frustration. Your body is physically still, but mentally and chemically, it's active. To fall asleep quickly, your body must shift into what is known as the rest and digest mode. This is the parasympathetic state, where heart rate slows, muscles relax, and the mind becomes quiet. This shift doesn't happen instantly if you've been overstimulated. It requires a clear signal that it's safe to power down. Without that signal, your body hesitates, staying partially alert even as you try to sleep. This is where small, intentional actions before bed can make a difference. A simple, calming input, like a carefully chosen natural ingredient in a small amount, can help guide the body toward relaxation. It's not acting as a sedative. Rather, it supports the body's natural transition. When combined with a calm environment, it reinforces the message that there is no immediate threat, no task to complete, and no reason to stay alert. Breathing patterns also play a significant role in this process. Rapid, shallow breathing is associated with stress, while slow, deep breathing signals safety. By consciously slowing your breath, you can influence your nervous system directly. This is a practical way to shift out of a heightened state and move toward rest. The body listens to these signals and adjusts accordingly. Another important factor is mental input. What you expose your mind to before sleep matters. Engaging with stimulating content, whether it's intense conversations, social media, or problem solving, keeps your brain active. Replacing these with quieter, more neutral activities helps reduce mental noise. Over time, this creates a smoother transition into sleep because your mind isn't carrying unresolved stimulation into the night. Consistency strengthens this process. When your body experiences the same calming routine each night, it begins to anticipate the shift. The nervous system becomes more efficient at powering down because it recognizes the pattern. What once took time and effort becomes quicker and more automatic. Ultimately, falling asleep is not about forcing your body into rest. It's about removing the signals that keep it awake. When your nervous system is calm, sleep doesn't require effort. It happens naturally, often faster than expected. By focusing on calming the system rather than chasing sleep itself, you address the root of the problem and create lasting results. Discipline is the part most people try to skip, and that's exactly why they struggle. It's easy to look for a quick fix, a tablespoon, a supplement, a trick, but if your daily habits are working against your biology, no single action will consistently solve the problem. Sleep is built on patterns. Your body follows rhythms, not random decisions. When those rhythms are inconsistent, your internal clock becomes confused, and sleep turns unpredictable. Going to bed at different times every night is one of the fastest ways to disrupt that system. Your body doesn't know when to start preparing for sleep, so the release of hormones like melatonin becomes irregular. One night you might feel sleepy early, the next night wide awake at the same hour. This inconsistency creates friction. Even if you use a helpful method before bed, it won't have the same effect because your body isn't aligned with a stable schedule. Screen exposure is another major factor. Bright light from phones, tablets, and computers signals to your brain that it's still daytime. This delays the natural processes that prepare you for sleep. You might feel mentally tired, but your brain is being told to stay alert. This contradiction keeps your system in a half-awake state. No tablespoon can override that signal if it's happening right before you try to sleep. Late-night eating habits also interfere with rest. Heavy meals force your digestive system to stay active when it should be slowing down. Instead of shifting into recovery mode, your body is busy processing food. This can lead to discomfort, restlessness, and lighter sleep. The idea behind a small, controlled intake is to avoid this problem, not replace it with another form of late eating. Discipline means knowing the difference between support and excess. Caffeine is another hidden disruptor that many people underestimate. Its effects can last for hours, even if you don't feel it directly. Consuming it too late in the day keeps your nervous system slightly stimulated, making it harder to fully relax at night. You may still fall asleep, but the quality of that sleep is often reduced. Over time, this builds up and leaves you feeling less rested, even if you spend enough time in bed. A structured routine creates predictability, and predictability allows your body to relax. When you go to bed at the same time, reduce stimulation in the evening, and follow a consistent pattern, your system starts preparing for sleep automatically. The small actions you take, like a tablespoon before bed, become more effective because they are part of a larger, stable framework. It's also important to understand that discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means consistency. You don't need a complicated routine, but you do need a reliable one. Simple actions repeated daily have a stronger impact than occasional extreme efforts. Over time, these patterns train your body to respond quickly and efficiently. In the end, discipline is what turns a small habit into a powerful result. Without it, even the best strategies become inconsistent. With it, even the simplest actions can produce noticeable, lasting improvements in how you fall asleep and how well you stay asleep. Simplicity is often dismissed because it doesn't feel powerful enough. People tend to believe that real results must come from complex systems, expensive solutions, or advanced techniques. But when it comes to sleep, the body doesn't respond to complexity, it responds to clarity. The more you overload your routine with too many steps, too many supplements, or too many rules, the more you risk creating confusion rather than improvement. Sleep is a natural process, and natural processes work best when they are supported, not over-engineered. The idea behind something as small as a single tablespoon before bed reflects this principle. It's not dramatic, it's not complicated, and that's exactly why it can be effective. It fits easily into a routine without creating resistance. When a habit is simple, you're more likely to repeat it. And repetition is what creates results. A complex routine might work for a few days, but if it's difficult to maintain, it eventually breaks down. Simplicity, on the other hand, is sustainable. Another advantage of simplicity is that it reduces mental effort. If your nighttime routine feels like a checklist of tasks you must complete perfectly, it can actually increase stress. Instead of relaxing, you're thinking about whether you're doing everything correctly. This keeps your mind active when it should be slowing down. A simple approach removes that pressure. It allows you to focus on a few key actions that support your body without overwhelming it. There's also a tendency to chase new solutions constantly, trying different products, switching routines, looking for the next improvement. This creates inconsistency. The body doesn't get enough time to adapt because the inputs keep changing. Simple habits, repeated over time, give your system the stability it needs to respond effectively. When your body knows what to expect, it becomes more efficient at preparing for sleep. Simplicity doesn't mean ignoring important factors. It means focusing on the ones that matter most. A consistent bedtime, reduced stimulation in the evening, a calm environment, and a small supportive action like the tablespoon method, these are straightforward, but they address the core of the problem. You're not trying to control every detail. You're aligning with how your body already works. It's also worth noting that simple approaches are easier to adjust. If something isn't working, you can identify the issue quickly because there are fewer variables involved. With complicated routines, it becomes difficult to pinpoint what's helping and what's not. This clarity allows you to make small, effective changes without disrupting the entire system. Over time, simple habits build momentum. What starts as a conscious effort becomes automatic. Your body begins to associate certain actions with the transition to sleep, and the process becomes faster and smoother. You no longer need to think about it, it just happens. That's the goal, to create a routine that works in the background without requiring constant attention. In the end, simplicity is not a limitation, it's a strength. It strips away what's unnecessary and focuses on what truly works. When you stop chasing complexity and start applying consistent, simple actions, you create an environment where sleep can happen naturally. And that's when the results become not only noticeable, but lasting. Control the signals you give your body, keep them simple and consistent, and sleep will stop being a struggle. It will become automatic.